Okay, if we ever need to get to the coast, then this is the way. But please, contain your wanderlust for now. I don't want us to get sidetracked, not with everything that's going on.
Focus on one thing, achieve it, then the next, he thinks. That's the task chain.
Yes?
Rust peels off the bent iron posts of the swing. The wind whistles through the skeleton of the small house behind you. There's desolation everywhere.
In this yard? Someone thought they could have a summer house in a bloc obscur, for cheap. It didn't work out. They abandoned it about a decade ago. A black bloc, a part of the city left unrenovated after the war, or one that has fallen to gang violence, or has become inhospitable in some other way. Practically, it's not an official term in any way, but look around. No sewage, broken power lines, crime, drunks. Life is tough in the blocks. It's no place to build a summer house. Yes, and you picked it up as part of the Jamrock Shuffle.
It's not meant as nagging, just an observation.
We should move. I don't think we will solve the murder with forays into the urban hinterland, at least in this phase of the investigation. Yes?
The porter reel is just what you needed. The reel's attached to the apparatus with a satisfying click. The tape is routed behind the magnetic reader. You press the large button marked Commencer, and the tape starts spinning. There's a small delay before the song starts playing. It sounds like someone's moving in the room, getting comfortable. Then the organ starts playing a simple, melancholic tune, echoing in the hallway. A lone singing voice joins in, telling you about the tiniest church in Cessons, surrounded by even tinier yard. You almost feel the seaside mist on your skin. It's mega sad. Within seconds you know, this is the one. The real shit you've been looking for. The one you trust your room to. This one tells it like it is. This is your tune. A click, then silence for a bit. Then the tape stops spinning. Of course you could sing this. You could take sad to a whole new level with this. And you already know the lyrics since you've listened to it like a million times. Yep, they're all here. All 3 verses. And the B-side of the tape contains the instrumental version. It's like the world itself is telling you to do it. Only one obstacle stands on your way. You have to convince Garp to let you sing karaoke in the whirling. After you've won him over, you can express yourself. Let the pain out. Make everyone understand. The lieutenant watches you pack up the boombox. He doesn't say anything. The face of King Freecell smiles at you. For some reason, the smile now strikes you as more forced than it did before. Comrade, as you know, this journal takes its name from Mazov's immortal expression, Du cristal à la fumée. This was his way of describing the way the rigid, crystalline structures of capitalist ideology turn to smoke under communism. But, like the structures of capitalist ideology, we too are at risk of going à la fumée, unlike many publications which are content to spoon-feed their readers reassuring drivel. La Fumée is committed to telling the radical truth, even when that truth may drive away potential subscribers. Only 4 issues in, and it sounds like they've already alienated their readership. Perhaps they've overestimated the market demand for this kind of commentary. So please, if you value our radical Mazovian perspective on contemporary politics, culture, and international affairs, please consider subscribing today. You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you. There it is again. The scent of apricots with a touch of cinnamon. Smells like the end of some distant summer. The surface of another planet, or some ancient temple. Yes, from the height of antiquity. A long, long time ago. Millennia ago. On an island of time you can never return to. Bitter, citrus, sweet. It seems to grow stronger, like a glow, with every breath you take. Until a blossom of skin and flower petals erupts behind your closed eyes. Made of toffee, cream, and distance. You just had to take a dive. Feels very, very familiar. Harry, please, you were supposed to discard it. The sun sets into the sea, but the water does not boil. Instead, it turns to liquid gold. For a moment, the world's store of precious metals seems to increase dramatically, and you are rich. There is a movement next to you, the shuffle of a small coat, warm like the evening. But when you turn toward it, there's nothing there. Why are you talking to a gum wrapper? It's just a racist mug. What's there to read here? Not much. Oh boy, here we go. What are you going to say about a broken, tossed-away mug that you dug out of the garbage? But it was in the trash. Why not just call it out when you see it? Or do some volunteering work? Just finish your case, detective. A cockatoo is a parrot with an erect... This book, Where to Even Pet Owners, also... It is not recommended to get a cockatoo if you're not... The worn and beaten wooden planks of the bench do not look overly comforting.
We can sit on benches after we've solved the murder. Let's go.
You can revisit the bench if you ever need to pass the time when Lieutenant Kitsuragi is gone.
A banged-up motor carriage lies half submerged in the icy water, slowly sinking into the Insulindian Ocean. Only the cabin top, rear wheels, and the engine remain visible. It must be cold and lonely down there, in the icy water. The seawater has already started to corrode the metalworks. Remember the tire tracks in Martinez? This is where they were leading.
It appears to be so. I agree. We should definitely investigate.
You get a sudden, sinking feeling. Stomach acid comes up as you look at the motor carriage in the deep, dark, cold water. Why the doom and gloom? It's just a sunken motor carriage. Some motor carriages are bound to end up in the sea. The logo is too deep in the murky water. You can't make it out, but you do see a monkfish float by. The motor carriage is properly stuck in the ice. Getting it out would require a team of specialists. A single day in the salty seawater would ruin most vehicles, but this one looks worn even in places the salt water hasn't touched it.
The ice hasn't closed around the vehicle yet. My guess is it's been here since last Saturday or Sunday. Let's wait for the low tide and see what's inside.
Great idea. Then we can get the things inside. The Joyrider must have left something good inside. Guns, papers, maybe a cool jacket. A Joyrider jacket. A Joyrider jacket. You feel a strange connection to this Joyrider. Maybe he's from some kind of Joyriders district and likes blue and white racing livery, like a cop would.
I don't know. An hour or two, tops?
As you sit down in the old, rusty playground, the world around you becomes very silent. Nothing but the sound of seagulls high above in the sky, echoing like distant laughter. Ice cracks around the blue motor carriage in the sea. The tune on your lips forms a strange yet undeniably beautiful contrast with the surrounding bleakness. The lieutenant gives you a quick glance. Then, still looking straight ahead, he joins you with a higher-pitched and slightly more melodic trill. Two birds on a wire, whistling by the seaside, looking at the water and the sunken car. The wind blows. In the distance, behind the church, some vagrants are having an argument over a bag of tear they found in the reeds. Further away, a flock of seagulls lands. The clouds pass in the sky, and the shadow of the swing moves like the hour hand on a timepiece. 30 minutes have passed. Looks like this might take a while. Time to present a good topic for discussion.
I believe it's following a pattern set millions of years ago by cosmic forces. But I suppose it could move quicker, yes?
Clouds on the horizon grow darker, and the shadow of the swing set keeps climbing. You hear the distant rumble of the city. 30 minutes pass.
God, I hope so.
Your voice echoes on the water, strange and out of place in the environment. 30 more minutes pass.
Detective, I've been able to make out the mark ever since we arrived. I find it odd that you haven't. It's a Capri, Model 40.
Yes. Why haven't you?
It is a simple and rugged machine, favored by working men, government offices, firefighters, animal control people, you know, those kinds of people. Yes, 41. What do you think it stands for?
Does he know something about the driver of this vehicle?
A precinct, yes. A police precinct. Precinct 41, your precinct.
A massive pit opens up in your stomach, and the most terrible feeling comes over you. No. Just nope. Say no to this, Harry.
I'm afraid so, yes. It looks like you drove your police motor carriage into the sea after you jumped across the canal.
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and doesn't say anything. There is also a fourth thing you've lost. It's lost forever into the deepest of seas.
You can still whistle. Besides, the night is always darkest before the dawn. Detective, we don't. A rescue operation really isn't viable at this point. Of whom? I don't think so. If anything, you were probably drunk. That is very unlikely. All the electrics are toast. That goes for the electromagnetic steering and brake systems as well. You'd be lucky to find one undamaged component in there. In a few months, there will be nothing but rust left of this vehicle. It'll be cheaper to buy a new one. Well, not cheaper. This motor carriage costs 40,000 real. But in the long run, it still makes more sense to buy a new machine than try to refurbish this. Let's face it, this is a substantial loss to your district's budget. I mean, my station only has 4 other vehicles in addition to my kinema.
This was 20% of the station's vehicular budget.
I'm afraid it will have to be there like that for many years. Look at it. Parts of it might be salvageable, but overall, this machine is a write-off. Yes, let's go take a look.
These are some wonderfully regular pants. Not too tight, not too loose, moderate in every sense. You'll blend right in at some pleasant dinner party. I know you do. These Inter-Isolari pants are like wearing a perfect compromise in your nether regions. No one will call the moral intern on you like this, that's for sure. You're a little more moralist now, buddy. A little more normal, even if you didn't want to be. Makes sense? This is what wearing boring office trousers does to you. Honorable One, you have accumulated a substantial amount of honor points on your life path. You are a man most virtuous. Of course there were honor points. Did you think no one was paying attention to all of your honorable deeds, Honorable One? Oh, the modesty on this one. Another 10 honor points for you, sir. You are on the fast track to becoming one of the rarest, most revered of all police officers, an honor cop. Living in the name of virtue and doing noble deeds while expecting nothing in return is not archaic. How can you even think that? Selflessness forms the basis for the warrior code, an ageless code, as fit for nomadic Ilmaran tribes traversing the vast red plateau in Provincia Gordi as it is for your neighborhood postman. You are like a wandering night monk setting right the wrongs of the world you come upon. Are you ready to drink deep from the cup of honor? Yes, your deeds are spoken for you, Honorable One, but to fully drape oneself in an eternal cloak of honor, a ritual must be completed. A rite of honor. Even among the honorable, only the most dignified are deemed worthy. But you, O Honorable One, have excelled in honor. Honor comes from deep within you, and to truly know oneself, to know one's honor, one must reach deep within oneself and touch one's honor. You need to bring the thumb of your right hand, your sword hand, to your rectum and stick it in there to form the Arch of Honors. People will be in awe, admiring a police officer most honorable, in a sacred ritual of uttermost righteousness. Most dishonorable are those who have known honor, carried honor in their hearts, and then disowned honor. They are the honor fallen. You brought much shame on your family today. Your name will forever be tarnished by this most shameful of deeds. Be forever banished, shameful one. Why does art inspire you so much? Excellent question. Art is a diverse range of visual, literary, auditory, and performative creativity. It's an expression of imagination and technical skill. Additionally, it's history, criticism, and pure enjoyment. In short, art is the highest form of human communication, representation, narrative, emotion, and agency intertwined. Have you looked in the mirror lately? You have the exact features of a savage art critic, with that beard and those clothes, disheveled and prophetic. Perhaps you should try to critique architecture too. Yes, you seek substance. No vapid representations and reproductions of social mores as made manifest in stuffy biennials. We're talking real, living art here. Become the art cop. Half art critic, half cop. Exactly. It's not only your duty to only catch the criminals off the street, you must also apprehend criminals of the printing press and the gallery. The trite and go ahead and provide savage criticisms, art cop. The world is yours to rip to pieces and reassemble.
Hi, officer. Anything I can help you with? A fishing village on the seashore. This place doesn't really have a name. It's sometimes called Illisible. The sign on the street leading here is illegible. Has been since they built this place. The name is Lillian. People call me Netpicker. I think I have time for questions, and that was actually the second one.
Indeed, you're always confused as to your whereabouts. Ask her about the cool sword. Helps to break the ice.
Unfortunately, the factory sold this one with a 3-year warranty instead of a story. It's to intimidate folks, mostly. It's a regular mass-produced sword, like a shovel or an axe. Nothing fancy, just for intimidation. From time to time, people need a lesson in respect. That's just the way it is. Back in the day, I caught the eyes of many men. And believe me, men need a lesson in manners from time to time. No, I'm afraid not. Tempting to confiscate the blade I used to keep these animals in check. You would put me in an early grave. What makes you think we haven't? The truth is that almost everyone in this life is scared and tired and stupid and too dull for that. That goes for men too. But they put on an act for us. Pretend like everything's good and living in shit doesn't bother them. Like anyone falls for that. Sure. It looks as if you could face down any horror in the world with that same unchanging grin. It's like a shield. Some went to patch their wounds, their lesson learned. Others were more thick-headed. And one of them, I ended up marrying. Guess I enjoyed the way he bled.
If it is, then why the melancholy?
Gone. To the waves. The sea took him. It was a long time ago. He didn't respect the sea. Went out there, drunk like a skunk, and sure enough, one day the boat was found floating empty. The bloated corpse turned up 2 weeks later. Now, before you tell me how sorry you are for my loss, know that it was 4 years ago, and I've moved on. There's only so much mourning you can do for a drunk with sinewy muscles. Us working folk don't have the luxury to be bedsick with melancholy. I buried him, mourned for an appropriate amount of time, and went on. Life didn't really change that much for me and the kids.
This is neither a touchy nor a very interesting topic for her. She looks like she's ready to go on a date with another, better, drunk. Ask her. Both of you could need some action.
Like I said, fish mostly. Sail the waves, take care of the kids, pick nets. Right now I'm tarring a little skiff. Sometimes I also walk to the beach to see what the sea has given up. The sea is full of surprises. Wood, pieces of glass. Every once in a while we see dead bodies. Human, animal, fish, other odd sea creatures. A mine washed ashore once. Bottles, drugs also. Lost cargo in general. Most of the time it's just wood and glass.
All right. Major choice moment. You only get to ask one thing. It would be weird to say them all. Choose wisely.
And go where? The fish are plentiful here and we get enough orders to get by. It's not great, but it's something. People imagine picking up and finding something better is an easy solution. But how is that supposed to work when all your time and energy goes to staying alive? You have almost nothing to set aside to actually fight your way out.
Hordes of wild, homeless people roaming the lands. Nomads scattered across an endless plain. In a dystopian world where tear is the only valid currency, and people eat each other to stay alive.
I don't mean to complain about my pauper life. We are warm and fed here and... I don't know. There's just something about this shithole.
A sudden gust of cold air blows in from the sea. The waves flow and ebb. Around you, the fishing village takes its slow and steady breaths. Its many wooden structures, worn by bitter years of salt and storm. It's home.
Sure is. The sun, I call her, coated with a fresh layer of tar just yesterday. It'll take some time for it to dry, assuming the sunny days continue.
She looks at the boat dripping with slush and nods proudly.
Let's see. Who are you looking for? I don't think I know what these are. Care to elaborate? Aha! Like snowmen. Two old guys have been wandering around here, nose in sand, talking nonsense about snowmen and the like. I don't really know. Further down the peninsula, I guess. I mean, that's where they were heading. Who else are you looking for besides snowmen? Yeah, I'm not really looking for that anymore. Not much into the middle-class ones either. Could do with some landed gentry, but apparently... Wish I could help you with that, but I haven't seen your working-class husband. Maybe I can help you find someone else.
She seems genuinely sorry for not being able to help you.
Well, how can I assist you then, officer? Oh? Who? Well, how can I assist you then?
You're not sure about the melody, but it might be South Samaran, possibly Sigayan. Also,
Welcome to the fishing village. Please lean in closer. I have cataracts. Oh, welcome, police officer. We don't cause any trouble around here. And we don't want any trouble either.
We are not here to cause any trouble, madame.
No, you're not. I've seen you around here before. 12 years ago. You didn't raise any hell. You were quite helpful, actually. But still, in Martinez, you're considered an ill omen. Oh, the usual. Dark tidings. Black hound.
that's you, all right. A black hound licking your own heels.
You're not. No one around here considers us an ill omen. People would have told us.
Maybe they are afraid. Because you're an ill omen. But you're still welcome here. As long as men with guns aren't chasing you. And maybe even then. Because that's the kind of fishing village we've built. I'm sorry there's not a lot of room to park the motor carriage. And not a lot of houses. Or a lot of people. My kids are long gone, searching for treasure. So are others. Ah, look at me ramble on. What brings you to us? Not much. There's the abandoned church, the DeLorean Church of Humanity. It's been there since before my time, even. Some things just don't fly, officer. Look around. Who'd go to church here? They built it 300 years ago. Must have been nicer then.
So, they don't hold services there anymore? The Ecclesiastes?
No, we've tried, but things just keep happening. Crime, accidents, other things.
She's not telling you all she knows. Keep her talking.
Well, there's that music. Music from across the sea. It started a few days ago, and now it's blasting, even through the night. And now, suspicious-looking people are sneaking around the church. I don't like that. Before you get to the church, there's some ruins, an apartment complex, or some kind of electrical plant. Run-down bunch of houses, empty. I don't know exactly. A pre-war place. It used to be something. Before the war. I wasn't here then, you know. Was born in Samara. Of note, the old fish market up on the boardwalk. But it's closed. No one. That's why it's closed. It was once a bustling place, back when I was young, and so was everyone else. Now, what catch we do bring in goes straight into a lorry for the Delta or somewhere else. What? You're one of those real estate people with big plans? If you want a development opportunity, you can check out the abandoned building over at Land's End. Used to be a supply depot, we think, sending goods and ammo across the bay. It's jammed shut, though. We tried to get in, see if there was anything to sell or scavenge, but it's impossible. And now you know everything there is to know about this coast. Me? No one. Just an old washerwoman. Mother called me Isabel, if that's what you're asking. And my married name is Sadie. Now it's your turn, Mr. Why, I guess I will, Harry. Aye, it just rolls off the tongue. I used to know a Harry. Strong lad, but dumb as a rock. He did too many narcotics. So many, he fell off his boat and split his skull on a buoy. Folks who saw it say his head cracked open like a melon. Nasty, nasty. Stay? Most people here are trying to leave. That said, if lodgings is what you're looking for, I've got a free room in the shack. I won't charge you for it. Take it as a gesture of goodwill from the village to the RCM. That's exactly how they get ya. That's why we built our own cinder block houses on the seaside. So we don't have to give money to those crooks. We might not look like much, but they are ours. Aye. The room is pretty bare bones, but it's got a bed and roof over it. That's more than some folks have around here.
When Varson communist revolutionary Ignas Nielsen was in hiding, he stayed in a hut on the Boreal Plateau for 10 months.
An uncomplicated man. I take it that means you're interested. Suit yourself. But should you ever need shelter, remember old Isabel and her shack by the sea. Change your mind, did you? I thought you might. Don't make this old woman regret giving the police the key to her house. Here. Just us. It's barely a village anymore. This is pretty much a non-place. A gap. A blank spot on the map. Just a cluster of nameless shacks on a nameless street.
The place is so pornographically poor, it's not even funny.
Here, for you? No, officer. The only money we have here is some coins the drunks tried hiding from their women and then forgot about.
Under carts, boats, in little boxes. It's not hard to find.
Over there, you can find more of the same. Shacks and trees growing wild. That's the pox.
Between here and Jamrock, a dusty sea of old trees, all covered in industrial soot. Small houses under them, an overgrown park.
An old military hospital and its surroundings. Or it used to be, during the time of the suzerain. After the war, it was turned into a goodwill hospital for shell-shock veterans and folks looking for some quiet in the old sanatorium gardens. Now the area is crisscrossed with nameless streets. And the goodwill ran out. The staff left and the place was shut down. It's long gone by now. Well, there's Lillian and her kids. A few new folks live in the house to the east, but they're away right now. And then there's the drunks. Not a pretty sight, but there's little we can do about it. Home is home, even for them. Lillian is tough. Tougher than the men here, at least. If it wasn't for her and the kids, this place wouldn't have a spark of life left. Sooner or later, you'll see for yourself. Don't have to look long to find these guys. The lack of wealth is the one thing we've got in abundance.
Riddles fits with the general ambiance here.
Sometimes it's as though I'm also gotten lost inside this nameless nothing. Oh, it seems to be a common theme these days. Isn't that what people always think when they are lost? Something I can do for you to find your way, officer?
She nods, rinsing another piece of cloth. The scruffy-haired little boy kicks a stone. He can't be more than 5 years old. The other one looks indistinguishable from him. He watches his brother kick the stone with his tongue lolling out of his mouth. The stone-kicking one becomes frantic all of a sudden, as if that's something to be scared of. The obvious fact that you just stated.
He looks just like me.
The boy doesn't answer. His brother throws another rock. Both of their hair is covered in some kind of dirt.
You're bad with kids. Don't worry, everyone is. How about we do some police work now? We're not getting anything here.
Hello, mister.
She clutches a small stuffed animal. Occasionally, she twirls it around.
Yes. They don't want to play with me. They're older and play outside. They look the same. Sometimes I can't tell them apart. They look identical. Oh, I had gloves. Very big ones. Heavy, too.
Where did you get these gloves?
Found them when Lemmy and I were playing hide and seek. In an empty house. Where no one lives. I think someone hid them there.
She doesn't want you to think she stole them.
I hid them. The twins were going to take them. They're stupid.
We're going to need those gloves. It's for important police business.
Oh. They're in my sandcastle. Behind our house. Under the sand. You can break the castle. It's not very good. Yes, I am. Little Lily. You know my mom? That's nice. My mom is great. She's never angry or anything. It's a grouse.
You might be able to get on Gart's good side if you replace the broken skewer you almost certainly broke.
Sure. I mean, you already took it. I don't like it anyway. It looks angry. It's Lammy. He's my friend. Sort of. Like...
Lambie is a stuffed lamb that, admittedly, has seen better days. One of the eye buttons is missing, and the fur is tattered in several parts.
Yes. Very soft. Isn't he soft? Bye!
Weather has not been kind to Lily's little sandcastle. The once mighty towers are quickly eroding away. You can see something shining back to you from what must have been a vast underground catacomb network. The walls and floors give way to the giant's greed, collapse and present you with a pair of ceramic gauntlets.
Congratulations. That's the gauntlets down, then. We're doing good on the armor collection front.
A drop in temperature, an easy flow of air, an empty street. Before you, a thoroughfare unjammed with lorries. No more drivers smoking on hitch steps. Just silence. Chemically sweetened. Across the road, a forgotten bus stop. Corrosion has opened a hole in its roof. An elm tree watches over the building. Its branches are dripping with rain and snow. The road is smooth and motley. Craters filled with a black asphalt. The asphalt, first laid, is grey already. A row of tenements are under construction in the distance. Number 312D. Young girls used to come here, huddled up, hoping for more warmth than their thin coats give them. The bus took them to school. It has not run for 8 years. There were not enough girls to sustain its cost. A tub warm with water, white with soap. A man bathes while radio waves transmit the lottery numbers. 4, 18, 21, 4, 1. A modern washing machine rattles a drawer full of silverware. Craters pocked the surface. Children played in them until heavy trucks full of black pitch rolled in. The landowners have filled the craters with money. It is a vital artery of the flow of trade. There's one bump on the road. A dead dog lies flat about 200 paces away, right at the turn. Tragedy comes from the wheels of a fast RCM vehicle, hurrying to work. The cold washes over you. The sound of the sea has grown distant. The wind moves the aerosol. A detective stands behind the boom barrier. A breeze moves a curl of his hair. The scruffy-haired little boy kicks a stone while the other watches him do it.
Hey, tequila! Good to see you. How's business? How's the whole reality situation treating you? So what's happening? Yeah, Tequila Sunset. How are the, high-concept, reality-based adventures?